my name is Seipati and I am the founder of SAWIL. It's such an honor to have you as one of the finalists for our inaugural Trailblazers Awards. This is Dr. Brough, who I presume you've already met from the Brough Leadership Institute. So today is just all about, sharing your story, your journey with the audiences and people who are voting for you. Dr. Brough will do the formal interview, and mine is just to say congratulations. But before I let you go or hand over to him, what brought you to this platform? How did you become a trailblazer? Just tell us a little bit about Mamokete. Who is she? What is she about? And what earned her a seat at this table?
Thank you. I'm really honored to be here. And thank you so much for making it to this far. It's really an honor and a privilege indeed. I am a professional. I've been in financial services for about 18 years. And in my journey, I have worked within the different facets of investment banking. That's my background. And within the investment banking, I did private equity, mezzanine finance, purely just, facilitating, different types of investments, including the infrastructure space as well, and over the 18 years. And my journey within the entrepreneur, environment started 3 years ago in 2017. And the last formal employment prior to that was when working for Vodacom as executive head of M&A. So I'm currently an entrepreneur, having started a company called Mamokete that focuses on investing within the ICT space. So my experience within Vodacom, I stayed there for about just over 3 years, sort of inspired me to actually venture into the ICT space as my focus for investments. And over that time, I got an opportunity to work with a number of businesses, CEOs, having, to present their strategy, their business plan, and looking for funding and capital raising, and also interacting a lot with, business owners and SMMEs, throughout my journey. And that's really inspired me to get into the space and then play a more transformational role, but really on the ground as well as a businesswoman. And that also inspired me a lot, having identified, the challenges around access to finance and so on. So just having learned around how technological, how transformational, digital solutions can be, in any aspect, and how enabling that has been. So has inspired me to actually get into the space to find solutions around how can you expand and create, opportunities for access to finance, within that space. And that's what led me into a business space. But also at the same time, I am very much passionate about women empowerment. I serve in a NBO company called Business Engage. It's a nonprofit organization that focuses mainly on developing women within the marketplace. It's got initiatives that are aimed at empowering women through leaders' walk, initiatives where you actually engage and see how you can capacitate women to be able to make a difference in the marketplace, in business, and in their professional setting. So I serve there as a director, and I also have partnered with my company, Mamokete, in creating a content to empower, women around issues of capital raising, mergers and acquisitions. We've created a content, and I provide lecturing for their board masterclass module on capital raising. And those are the matters that sometimes looks like, they are more set aside for people in finance and so on, and yet it's the basic knowledge that business women and businesses need to have. So we facilitate that. And I, having been, interacting with the business sector in the entrepreneurial setting, and also in my capacity now, I've gained enough experience to also be able to add strategic value in some of the companies. I also serve as a non-exec director in one listed company called Bell Equipment, as well as Outsurance. So yeah, and I'm a mother with two kids, a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old, who keep me on my toes, very precious to me. And I also try and make time to be a good parent and to play my part and to try and strike a life that sort of reflects my values as I value, family and so on. So yeah, I think that's me in a nutshell. I make time to, and I also set aside a lot of time, interacting with women on issues of personal, development and self-leadership, because I believe that for any person to be able to make it out there, to win out there, you got to win, from within. And we need to always make an effort to invest in ourselves and to engage, have those exchanges that allow us to empower each other. And you'll always, whenever I get the opportunity, you'll always find me engaging with women and participating either through giving talks or being a speaker or just networking platforms. You'll always find me, especially even through the initiatives we have under the Business Engage. So yeah, that's me. And I think all these activities and my involvement in business, my involvement as an investment executive, as well as in my capacity as a trustee within the non-profit organization Business Engage, where I'm very active, has sort of landed me in a space where people could recognize what I do.
Well, your profile is quite impressive. So I'm going to say this, Mamokete, what a trailblazer you are. Andy, over to you.
Thank you so much, Seipati, and thank you, Mamokete, for that comprehensive introduction. I want to try and take this from two angles. The one is in your professional capacity. You mentioned the board position that you hold, and there you are focusing on social ethics and transformation. What advice would you give to companies in that area? How do we begin to make boards more transformative and more representative, particularly when it comes to women in leadership, Mamokete?
You see, what I would say, especially to the aspiring board members or those who are current board members, when you come to a board and join a company, you bring who you are, right? You bring yourself, and make sure that you join a company that embraces your value system, whose value system are aligned with yours. Otherwise, your ability to be able to influence and any company may be very hampered if you operate in a constrained environment that is not aligned with your value system. That's very critical. And the second thing I would say, when you choose an opportunity to be a board member in any company, you choose risk, right? And so make sure that you first know the type of a risk profile you are taking by choosing a company that is really aligned, with your objectives. And once you are in, it's very much important to understand the basic principles. If the organization operates on the basis that in this world the sustainable way of building is to be able to leverage of the skills, the capabilities, and the knowledge of the resources that you have and the capital that you have. And if you cannot utilize the access to the resources and the knowledge and the richness of that, you are actually doing the organization a disservice, because you are not maximizing the potential of an economy. The same way when we present the business case for diversity, we present the business case for diversity because the country's operational capacity and the growth of the economy is dependent in what the nation represents. And if you exclude any part of the nation's capacity, resource, capability, and only focus on one, you're also depriving the organization of its growth and so on. So the business case for diversity and inclusion has been there, and we have seen it just purely from that perspective. But secondly, from historic basis and the studies that have been released, there are studies that have been released that demonstrate that companies that have got a diversified leadership that embraces diversity and inclusion tends to overperform other companies that are not. And it's purely logic. And in that sense,